behind us just, we all write code and we need some assistance to it. Obviously, at least not so intelligent, because if it's so intelligent, then it become a pilot, I become a co-pilot. I want to be a pilot. So, so then, so what is the motive is just my idea why I just want to do it, because I have a Raspberry Pi and my old laptop is there. So which is 1650 RTX. So I just want to run a small SLM. SLMs are just small LLM models with small parameters, and it just does dumb things. Okay. So basically, my idea is to not, it's to write two super code actually. I just want to just complete my simple function like getting a list of files from the bucket. Nothing much crazy. So it's a, you can ask a normal template can fill it, right? Yeah, but the variables whatever I use, right, needed to be filled automatically. So I want to be dumb but not be super intelligent, so that I can write my code and enjoy my life. So rather than debugging it, that's the idea. And so this is the overall idea of it. So you know it, right? There are some LLM tuned for coding purposes. So these are star coders, DeepSeek coders, Code Llama, CodeStar. Okay. There is this is specifically used for training for writing code. Okay. So they are not they are used for it. So how they are training it and how they are producing is the talk of today. Okay. Any queries? This is objective. All are good with the objective, right? Here. Okay. Awesome. Then, okay. So the purpose is this coding assistant is little different from the LLM models. You ask a question, it replies, right? But this thing, right? It just fill in the blanks. As a meme says, the reason why I exist. It should say the reason why I exist. So yeah, basically it's a fill in the blanks model. So we are going to train we are not going to train, but in this call, but how they are going to train the filling the blanks kind of thing is the objective here. So let me go into it. And this is a white paper, okay? Fill in the middle training models, which is, it's a white paper reference, and we will go through the paper. So I highly recommend you to go and read it, okay? Because whatever I am saying is a reference of a reference of reference based upon my understanding. If you read the paper, you'll get more idea of it. I'm just giving a thought, okay? I'm not teaching anything here. So I will, this is a white paper reference. We'll go through it and I'll say the result also, okay? So the code auto completion, whenever you train a model with the FMI is my fill in middle, okay? Fill in middle type of data, then it performs better for the encoder based models. So anyone knows what is encoder based models? Just give me some example to just to assert the understanding of the audience. What is encoder based models, decoder models, sequence to sequence models? I mean, just to gauge the audience pulse. Okay, okay, okay. Encoder model is nothing but like it just takes a previous attribute. For example, there's a sentence, right? It takes a previous word and next word, and it's bidirectional, so that it's used for filling the blanks kind of things, or masked value, right? It has been used. I mean, I'm seeing a very high level. This decoder model, right? It's just ChatGPT 2, just for text generation. It just predicts what is the next word. My life is next word. It will generate based upon the trained models. So that is it's just good for text generation, nothing crazy. So that is encoder, my fancy way of saying. So, I mean, it's a fundamentally though, I'm just lightening up it, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I said, right, it just predicts what is the next word in your sentence, and oh my God, the control also got copied. Okay, so GPT-2, Transformer XL are the examples, and so yeah. I have only two slides to be honest. I have my notes, personal notes, but I will quickly walk through the slides, whatever. So let's assume there's a document, okay? There's a document, and you're going to split the document into three parts. The first one, prefix, middle, and suffix, okay? So you're going to make it as equal parts, one by third, one by third, one by third, okay? And put a sentinel token. Sentinel token means just when it starts, okay, it just when you encode it and put a token in between. So it just knows when the first sentence starts, when the second sentence starts, when the third sentence starts. So assume a document, split it into 3 ways. And when the first sentence starts, when the second sentence starts, third sentence. This is what we are doing, right? We are going to we are going to prepare a training data. So we have a model called as Gemma or anything, right? Gemma or Llama. So there's a general purpose model, and we are going to train based up this kind of FML data. So we are going to give a document, split it into 3 parts, and train it accordingly. Okay. So as you said, right, middle, prefix, middle, end, prefix, end, middle. So, okay, when you split it, right, and we just reshuffle it, okay, pre, mid, end, and is reshuffled as pre, end, mid, okay. The model is trained to predict the mid, but when you see it, right, I shuffled it. So I'm just asking it whether it is able to fill in the blanks. So whether it is capable of. So my thought was he lied in every word. So it just jumbled the sentence and asking the was he lied is what we expected, and based upon this we are going to predict the accuracy. That's the whole idea of it. And maybe I will just go to my notes. Are you comfortable with my notes, right? So that we can go through the paper, so you can read it. So I mean, okay. Mm.
Yeah, so that pre, mid, and end, right? So my first thought was, and let's say that there is one paragraph for each and every pre,
I
mid, and
think
end.
this is example. So that will be, if any encoded, it will be a different one. So this is
Yeah.
for visualizing. It will be a different one.
Okay, so what my question is, so let's say that I'm searching for something which is in between the first and the second. My half of the first thing is in the pre, and my another half is in the mid. So I'm searching for that kind of result. So how it will go and search, because it is divided into blocks. It either goes into first or second or third, right?
I think this will not be in words, to be honest. So we will encode this chunk. So when you encode it, right, it will be like just numbers, random numbers. So I think such kind of questions, right? When you have a trained, for example, if you look at, right, filling the blanks, for example, in Hugging Face model, if you see it, right, there will be a set of data which is trained, and there will be a commonly answer. Today is raining. Today is sunning means it will defaultly say raining even if it is right or not because of the context window. So the question whatever you ask, right, based upon your training data set, if the training data set is not so good, then your results will be false. So you should train accordingly. So I got your when you jumble it and you intersected and the context, then you should increase the context window of it. That's a real that's a nice question, to be honest. I think in the when you go through the papers, right, there will be an interesting thing called as context level FMI. So I will go through it, and your questions will be answered. Okay. So
Sure, thank you.
okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah. So I just was writing some notes. Maybe we can go through it at the end of the day. So basically, when you look into the code base, right? Like and the paper suggested. Oh my God, it's so okay. How to increase it? Can I increase it? Okay, it's not increasing it. Okay, my bad. I thought it would be fun to just show the paper and walk through it, but I think currently technical limitations. But let me skip it. Let me just say a couple of things. Basically, this FMI of trained models, right? It's used for this left to right models. For left to right models are this text generation models performs well. That was the evidence they said it. Okay, in the paper, it is evidently good. So that only for any model, you take it and you can train it via FMI data. Okay, so that is one point they said it in the documentation, and another point is also same. I think unfortunately I can zoom it. My bad. Yeah, I think there is also a repository called as from OpenAI for human eval infills. Actually, for example, in this repository, right, if you go in and just could put your code generation, right, your code, it just validates whether your code is right or not. It's just a Python function. You can put your code training data. It's for evaluating your training data. Okay. So data whatever generated mid separate, and it will evaluate your training data. That's for coding. So As I said, it is for the document level FMI, and there it comes the question what your context level uh, uh, FMI. Okay, so the idea is there is a very big document, and the context will be spread between different documents. What I can do? Okay, I think the previous session, the particular speaker said about drag and chunking, etc. Right? So, for example, right, where there is a document and you chunk it. Okay, there is a big document, you chunk it. Then how will you split the first is prefix middle? So here, right, they chunk it first and split it. They chunk it first and split it. So I think at that time the context window will be overlapping, and you can able to achieve a little bit of accuracy. So that's so. So yeah, this is context level. Because this is a common question. There will be 200-page documents, and how you can do it. So when you chunk it and split it, it will be much easier. So that is the idea of it, and I mean, you can read on it actually, like how this context level FMI is more performant compared to the document level FML and etc. And yeah, this is the whole idea of it. And so, as I said, right, initially I just want to run a dumb model in my local computer, and just to for my everyday activities, I want to use it. That's the idea. So, so basically, right, I just also provided the way I want to achieve it. I started with Olama, okay, and it was running in local, but Selenium is nothing but a plugin which is being provided by the cloud, okay, and it gave me an error of 404. Why? Because the plugin is not developed well. Why I'm saying this? Because I just want to footprint my development process so that you will learn more from the footprints. So I used it, and okay, it doesn't work. It failed. So I logged it, and it doesn't fail. I used Llama Studio, okay, LM Studio. So LM Studio is similar like Llama, which you can download models and etc. So I used it, and when it is working with Selenium, the plugin which is used by the cloud, right? It was not working for the DeepSeek Coder. Same integration test, and there is a issue in GitHub. So either I should fix it or I should move on. So I'm just exploring, right? I moved on, and it is. And another problem is when I set a context like a window 13 point token, right? It's my Mac is getting too hot, so it is not possible. So I quitted it. So I want to run a small model, and I'm not going to use. I'm going to use LM Studio, and Selenium is not working. So rejected on spot, and moving on with the new plugin called as continuative plugin. Okay, so why I'm saying, because just to back through the things, and so this is what the model looks like, and you can just install any model, but I just installed a very small model, 700 MB only. Okay, so it is not even original base model. Okay, this model has been when you click on it, you will. Okay, let me show you in the. So this particular fellow, right? The block. This fellow. Okay, why it's not displaying? Okay. This fellow trained this small 1.3 billion parameters model and trained upon his own data. Okay, so I used this and running it locally now. Okay, so you can see the context how he trained, and he built his integrations, etc., and architecture, and etc. How he trained instruction level, etc. So now the idea is I'm running it locally, and it is running in my port of host 1270, etc. So and and I'm using this plugin. Where is this plugin? And it is already detected. Okay, it's not detected. Add a model. Mm-hmm. Why it's not detecting the model? Mm-hmm. Auto detected connected. Okay. It just detects the model. Okay. Let me create something. Open a folder or create a document. Let me write a py file, and it will autofill it. So nothing. No, we will have the local host actually. So it's running in my local machine. So Okay, I didn't explain it well, I guess. My bad. So, for example, right, it is running in my local host. So, I don't want to give any API keys. So, it's running in my machine, in my GPU power. It's running locally. Exactly. So, everything is running in my CPU. So, I'm not using any external cloud APIs. So I said I just want to run it in a Raspberry Pi. So, for example, even my machine is not very super powerful. If you see it, right, my disk space itself is full. So I'm running this small model in my 7 GB of disk available disk space. This will definitely run in Raspberry Pi for no problem on it. But let me create something. Create some PY file and see how this auto completion works. Downloads and sometimes doesn't work. Okay. Uh, uh, okay. Let me create something and touch code.py. Code.py. So when you open it and try to write it, it'll autofill it, I guess, something. Uh, I never used it, to be honest. I don't want this to fill it, but okay, why it's not filling? Okay. So it started to generate some random things, right? Because I didn't use any plugins. This plugin just suggesting me it. So, but this is not accurate enough. What is my end goal is, end idea is, uh, this will autofill some random values, but I just want to train my own model on it. So there is possibilities also, and I just want to show you it prompts it. If you use any other model other than coder model, it will not prompt it. So you have to just copy paste in your terminal. So it will not be a coding assistant. So it won't generate or suggest things. I want a suggestions in this model, and there are other plugins also in my notes. If you go in at the end of the Okay, yeah. So there are other coding models like Twinkie and Table ML. So they are the same plugin which has been developed, and you can have an integration on it. And this particular guy, right, has been wrote a research paper like how you can tune your own some kind of a local model based upon your data set. Okay, so you can do it. I didn't do it for now. Maybe in future I may do it. So this is all, and there are possibilities. You can, so any queries on it? I think when you just switch on, right, it automatically detects. I have two models. One is 6.7B and 1.3B. So and the VS Code extension actually. Install it and do it. I didn't write a single piece of code. So the understanding is now this code, whatever it suggests, is garbage at the end of the day, because the idea is you have to train your own data code with FMI model standards and train it. So that is the idea. So the making your data set according to the FMI model and train it is the idea of it, not the plugin. So yeah. So any queries? Okay. Hmm? Hmm. I mean, you're saying like how it prompts, you're saying, or how when you train your model with your own data set, how it knows. Hmm? Okay. New code you're writing, right? Then your data set should be large and better quality. Okay. Hmm.
See, there is already a data set, a model has been trained on data set and it's my local.
Mm.
So let's say I want to train it,
Ah.
the data set on what I type. So it should be in real time. Whatever I type the code, it should automatically get updated on the data.
That is not. That is not possible. I think you should get your clumps of data, code, whatever you wrote, and train upon it is possible. You can't just, but that's possible. That's called real, yeah, real. So, but I don't have idea, to be honest. I will say using like reinforcement learning. I have no idea. Maybe I should read on it. But I think such kind of things you can train your LLM model based upon your data to autofill your for loops. But that is good. But training automatically based upon your needs, I'm not sure. So I have no idea.
You have to write a separate VS Code extension where it captures everything real time, and you have to go manually and you have to train the model. So it will not be real time. Yes.
Any other queries?
So you said about the context level FIMs, right? So you said first basically chunks and then it splits the data in the training model, right? So how chunk happens? I mean, I'm not giving the entire. I'm giving just few sentences without the end. And how chunking happens? The prompt is incomplete.
How you are going to set the context window or chunking window you're asking? Am I right?
What is asking is, I'm giving a lot of sentences. How does it automatically chunks it into small portions? I'm not saying anything how to chunk, right?
You will say it actually. The person whoever trains or prepares the data says it. So you don't know to.
That's a concept called tokens in the LLMs where this particular set of tokens have to be given. And
I think maybe that's interesting. So that you are saying tokens, right? Terminology. So I just want you to explain rather than me.
Okay, so there's a concept called as tokens where the particular model will accept only this much amount of tokens. So token is nothing but it's kind of words. It's not the word breaks that it will take. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago. So it will take certain limits as tokens, and the parameters or the words you're sending it, right? In the backend or in whatever the model they have written. So obviously there's going to be a server, and server going to be utilize a certain model. So your incoming passage will come in, and that particular developer who develop will give, so this much you have to split this particular thing into this much amount of tokens, and you have to feed it to the models. So if you see in the chat GPT, after a certain limit, you cannot give the prompts because that particular model will accept only that particular amount of tokens. So that's the thing.
I think he said it about the limit whatever you give, but the context I'm speaking about when you train it. So the question you asked is this one or that one? I'm confused now. When you train it. Okay. But that's I also, because the context is a free term, you can put it anywhere. So but that is so nice, man. That's cool. Maybe I will show you a documentation on the DeepSeek Coder and see what context and what are informations we have. That will be much fun. Anyway, we have time, right? So why not? So I already was started to read on it, maybe due to the bus, right? If you see, right, here, right? Okay, damn, you can't see it. Okay, can I? Even it just.
Quick search will do.
Okay. Suman. No, I think. Okay, my bad. Okay, no problem. Maybe. I think in any way it will be in GitHub. Not a big deal. This will also say. They will write some descriptions on it, definitely, standardly. Okay. Now you can see, right? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Let's read aloud. And DeepSeek Coder is composed of arrays of coding models. Yeah, obviously. And it is trained with 2 TBs of token. Okay, the token is where you train on. And the composition is 87% of code and 13% of natural language. Okay, so the training data is 87% of his code. I mean 80 and 13% natural language in both languages. And previously, the size of the model is ranging from 1 to 13. So, as the previous fellow said, right? Higher the parameters, higher the accuracy, and it is pre-trained upon project level processes, etc. Here comes the window sizing, which is around 16 KB and extra in filling the blanks. So basically, before and after, it will just take 16 16K tokens, and it just suggests it. Okay, that is the size of the code it scans on it. So yeah, and yeah, that's. I just want to read on this particular model how you can just see these kinds of parameters. Nothing crazy. Okay, any queries? No queries? Okay. Okay, then I guess I did a very good job. I guess no queries. So I guess so. So yeah. So thank you, I guess.
Okay, that's a wrap for the day. So couple of things.